Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a deeply systemic issue that is quite literally gripping India right now. We're talking about the exam paper leak crisis. We'll be breaking down a fascinating and honestly highly critical analysis taken directly from a recent hard-hitting interview featuring journalist Shubhankar Mishra and educator Abhinay Sur. We're going to map out exactly how this crisis evolved, from isolated incidents into this vast organized network. And more importantly, we're going to explore the terrifying long-term impacts it could have on the entire nation.
Right, let's start with this absolutely staggering number, 80. According to the source material, this is the reported number of exam paper leaks that have occurred in India over just the last 10 years. Just let that sink in for a second. We aren't talking about one or two compromised tests here and there. We are looking at an environment where exam leaks have been normalized to a shocking degree. It's kind of just become a routine headline, which is wild.
And then there's this, 1.7 crore. That's 17 million students. Between 2015 and 2024, this massive number of candidates have had their futures, their hard work, and let's face it, their families' life savings completely jeopardized by this leak crisis. As the interview highlights, these aren't just statistics on a page. These are individual dreams of social mobility and financial stability that have been completely hijacked.
Now, the source material presents a truly startling contrast, and it's captured perfectly right here. We planted our flag on the moon's south pole, but we can't transport an exam paper from one city to another without it leaking. I mean, it's a brilliant way to illustrate the paradox, right? On one hand, you have a nation achieving these monumental feats in space exploration, holding on to pristine signal connections millions of miles away. But on the other hand, you have basic administrative systems failing to move a sealed envelope safely across state lines. No way.
So, what does this all mean? It begs the ultimate question. How did the examination system reach this absolute point of failure? How does a country with such high technological and intellectual capacity find itself repeatedly stumbling over the logistical integrity of a basic written exam? Let's transition into the root causes identified in our source analysis.
Section 1. Systemic failures and apathy.
This brings up a really fascinating comparison from the interview. On one side, you've got the NTA, the National Testing Agency, struggling with continuous leaks and massive vulnerabilities. But then, on the other side, you have the UPSC, which successfully conducts highly secure, leak-proof offline exams year after year after year. The source basically argues that if the UPSC can maintain absolute integrity, the continuous failures of other agencies kind of point to a deeper issue of intent. It suggests that, hey, the capability absolutely exists, but maybe the will to actually execute it securely is what's missing.
And that brings us to the claims of apathy. The source highlights this exact quote, "It's not a big deal," which was reportedly spoken by a state education minister in response to the leaks. The speakers present this as clear evidence of a sheer disconnect, just total apathy from political leaders towards the immense mental and financial anguish of the millions of affected students. Moving right along, Section 2, the education mafia and commercialization. Okay, check out the reported price tag for a single leaked NEET paper. 60 lakhs. The analysis claims that paper leaking has literally mutated into a massive, tax-free criminal economy. We are talking about millions of dollars changing hands entirely off the grid. It's become a booming industry of its own, motivating a highly sophisticated network of brokers and insiders to just continuously breach the system.
And the crazy part? Absolutely no sector is immune. Just look at the exams affected. You've got medical entrance exams like NEET UG, state police exams, administrative exams like SSC and BPSC, engineering gateways like GATE, and even railway recruitment. The interview makes the point that whether you're trying to be a doctor, an engineer, a police officer, or a clerk, the integrity of your entry point is just entirely compromised.
Section 3. The myth of digital security.
Let's break down this comparison for a second. Offline exams, as we know, are vulnerable during physical transport, right? Like when they're breaking the physical seal. But online exams? Well, the speakers claim they are just as vulnerable, if not more so, to remote hacking and proxy screen sharing. So instead of a paper leaking out to thousands of people at once, online cheating can be highly personalized. You get a proxy expert quietly solving the test from a remote location, while the candidate literally just sits in front of the screen pretending to click. It's a localized, way harder to detect form of corruption.
So why is this happening? Well, the interview attributes these digital vulnerabilities directly to infrastructure. Specifically, the claim is that the government lacks its own robust, proprietary digital testing centers. So instead, exams are frequently outsourced to the lowest-bidding third-party private vendors. And these vendors, because they're operating on super tight margins, often lack the rigorous security protocols needed to prevent sophisticated hacking.
Section 4. The catastrophic ripple effect.
Okay, so the crucial point is, this is where the analysis takes a much darker turn, into the long-term, devastating consequences on society as a whole. Let's walk through this domino effect together. It starts at step 1, right? Paid leaks, which leads directly to step 2, where utterly unqualified candidates completely bypass merit and get selected. Step 3 is the terrifying reality. These people actually become your fake doctors, engineers, and police officers. And finally, step 4, the complete compromise of national security and public health. Basically, a single leaked paper today becomes a collapsed bridge or a botched surgery 10 years from now.
Abhinay sir actually delivers this really powerful quote during the interview. You are not creating real doctors, you are creating brokers. It completely emphasizes the sheer danger of putting individuals who literally bought their medical degrees into hospital operating theaters. They lack the fundamental skills to heal, and honestly, their primary focus was never education in the first place. It was purely transaction.
And, it goes way beyond healthcare. The source expresses deep concern that compromised defense and police exams, like the SSC-CPO, directly threaten the safety of the entire nation. Think about it. If unqualified personnel who paid bribes are the ones stationed at national borders or working within internal security forces, it creates a massive systemic vulnerability. The interview raises a pretty terrifying question. How on earth can you ensure national security with a compromised security force?
Building on that broker-doctor concept, the analysis warns about the extreme corporatization of healthcare. If a candidate pays 60 lakhs just for a seat, they're entering the medical field looking for a return on that massive investment. This feeds directly into a toxic corporate hospital culture. We're talking treating patients merely as customers, pushing totally unnecessary diagnostic tests just to meet aggressive billing targets, and exploiting monopolies on in-house pharmacies. The priority shifts completely away from patient care, straight toward corporate profit.
Section 5. Demographic dividend or disaster.
India frequently boasts about its massive youth population as this incredible primary asset for future growth. But the source material paints a much grimmer reality if this exam crisis isn't halted. Are we heading towards a demographic disaster? There's this profound fear that millions of frustrated, disenfranchised youth who have been repeatedly cheated by a corrupt system will just lose faith entirely. The analysis suggests they might either turn to the criminal economy themselves or just pack up their talents and migrate out of the country altogether, essentially turning India's greatest asset into its greatest liability. Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought to end on. If we cannot protect the integrity of a simple exam paper today, how will we protect the future of the nation tomorrow? It's a question that goes so far beyond test scores. It is about the very foundation of trust, merit, and the survival of essential institutions. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking those tough questions and absolutely keep demanding clarity.